What is the AIP diet? What is AIP? AIP is Autoimmune Protocol Diet. Who does it? Does it work? We're going to dive in and find out exactly what it is and how it works. So, have you ever been on the AIP diet? I have never until recently. So I've always eliminated certain things, but I never knew what I needed to eliminate specifically that was a trigger for my autoimmune disease. So Autoimmune Protocol Diet is a diet based on the idea that certain foods inflame your gut, and that by eliminating these, they may ease your autoimmune symptoms. Okay. So there's tests that you can do that will through your functional doctor. So as you know, I go to a functional doctor, not traditional doctors, because they don't do this. And it's super important to understand how your whole body works as a whole, not as individual pieces. And so there's a blood test you can do that will share with you which foods are triggers for your specific autoimmune disease. And interestingly enough, a lot of the foods were foods that I ate every single day. Spinach, sweet potato, oatmeal. What else? There was a bunch of others. Nuts, the peanuts, peanut butter, which I knew that one, but that was one of the triggers as well. Coconut, almonds. These are things that I ate every day. And here's the thing, it's not that they're unhealthy, okay? They're super healthy. But what it was is that these foods were triggering my autoimmune disease. So what I do is, or what you do when you do this diet is you actually take them all out of your diet and you create a new nutrition plan, or you just have your food without those items. And at first it's very difficult because change is hard, right? When you're used to doing certain things, it's really difficult and your body goes through detox. But here's the thing. You have to understand there's a light at the end of the tunnel, okay? And when you do this, then you do it for 4 weeks. Then you slowly bring in one food at a time for 3 to 4 days. Then you add on top of that. So for example, the first food, the first food I brought back in was spinach, and then eggs, and then almonds, and then coconut. And then you'll know by doing it this way that certain foods may cause you to not feel as well, may cause you to be tired, anxious, bloated, constipated, any of those things. So then if that happens, you just remove them from your diet for good or temporarily for a couple months. So it's really interesting how this works. And there's definitely certain foods that I no longer eat. So spinach, I used to eat like a huge tub of spinach every week. I can't eat spinach anymore. Interestingly enough, now it's all romaine because that's what I could eat when I was on the elimination. And it does, interesting enough, the spinach was hurting my stomach. Like it was definitely hurting my stomach because I can't absorb it. Eggs I love, and it took me a long time to get those back in, but now I can have them and I feel great. Coconut I have again, almonds, but here's the thing, it's different for everybody. And the reason for that is everyone's blood is different. Everyone's DNA is different. Even though we both have Hashimoto's, or we both have Graves' disease, or we both have rheumatoid arthritis, any autoimmune disease, it's different for every person. Okay. And so the reason why this works is because it helps with the autoimmune conditions to lessen the symptoms, right? So we want to take them out to lessen the symptoms and improve quality of life because we don't know how good we can feel until we feel better, right? So we want to make sure that the food that we're replacing it with, when we take all the food away, that's a trigger. We want to make sure these are nutrient-dense foods that reduce your inflammation, okay, and promote the healthy gut flora. So this is the center. The gut is a center of the immune system. So before you can do anything and feel better with your autoimmune disease, you absolutely need to heal your gut. And that is key. And most people don't even understand this. And a lot of people might have infections or other things going on in their gut that is completely not related to their autoimmune disease. However, it is making them feel like crap and they're blaming it on their autoimmune disease because they haven't figured out the gut issue. Okay. So there's a common infection called Candida. I also did a gut test. So this is like a stool sample, and I sent it away to a lab, again, through a functional doctor at the same time that I did the blood test. So I was like, I'm just going all in, like something's not right, something's going on. And I know myself, like I know the triggers, I know what's happening, and I'm super healthy, super aware of triggers and what's happening in my body. So it came back that I have candida. So candida is an infection. Like I've had this for probably over 20 years, longer than I've had my autoimmune disease, if not at the same amount of time. And what happens is that I can't process certain foods. I would get constipated. I would get bloated. And the reason is because I have candida. So how do you fix that? You go on a bunch of supplementation, some prescriptions. It's for 3 to 6 months, and then everything clears up and you're good to go, right? So it's very simple to fix, but you got to know about it. So go ask your function doctor about candida, because if you're not feeling well and you can't really pinpoint anything, I guarantee it's from your gut. And until we figure out what's going on in the gut and you get the healthy gut flora going, then you're never going to feel good. And it's not going to work for you. Like you're going to be trying all these things and just feel like a failure and feel like there's no hope and nothing's working. Well, the thing is, you haven't gotten to the source of the problem, right? What's your root cause? The root cause of you not feeling good may be your gut health. It may have nothing to do with your autoimmune disease. Okay. So, and when you're on the AIP diet, foods you absolutely need to eliminate from your diet, whether you have a food sensitivity or not, are all dairy, all grains, eggs, nuts, seeds, legumes like beans, and nightshades, which are tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant, peppers, and all sugars, including alternative sugars such as stevia as well, and all butter and ghee. So clarified butter. So those are certain things that you absolutely don't want to have in addition to what your blood type tells you if for your autoimmune triggers, if you're doing that. Okay. But if you're just doing the AIP diet, you definitely want to make sure you eliminate those other items. And then the other thing is that there are certain things you want to also make sure you are eating. So you want to eat fruits and vegetables, like fruits with seeds are very good for you. We also want to make sure, like for berries and kiwis, watermelons, pomegranates, cucumbers, zucchini, and we want to make sure that we have all of those because it'll just help you feel better, right? So basically, we want to make sure that we are feeling good. The number one way to feel good with autoimmunity is to do an elimination diet, but more importantly, is to heal your gut. So I'm just here today to share with you a little bit about the AIP diet because I've heard about it for years. I never did it because I didn't feel like I had to until I didn't feel good. And I actually did it based on my gut health, not for my autoimmunity, when in fact, most people do it for their autoimmune health. So just food for thought. And I would love to hear from you. Have you done the AIP diet? Does it work for you? I was talking to someone today and she said, you know what? I do a reset every year in January and I go on the AIP diet and then I kind of phase it out, but I always feel better on it. And I'm thinking to myself, the next question I would ask is, why don't you do it year round if it makes you feel better, right? But most people don't have the accountability, the mental capacity to sustain the lifestyle. So we can go ahead and do it as a reset, or we can just do it temporarily and then reintroduce foods and customize a nutrition plan that works with what foods serve us so we can heal our gut and feel great with autoimmunity.